I'm Leon Todd for G66. Welcome to another Tuesday tone tip. On today's video, I am going to try and recreate the sound of my modified 1979 Marshall Super Lead. You can see it just behind me over there. It's actually a 2959 model, so it originally came with reverb. Long story short, the previous owner removed the reverb and I sent the amp over to Jason at Headfirst Amplification to do some mods to the amp. It's had a master volume added to it and it's had a Jose style gain stage added to it up front. Now, I love the sound of the amp and I want to see if I can get close to that using the tools available in the Axe Effects. So let's start off with the 1959 SLP treble. This is a straight up Marshall Super Lead circuit. I've got it at the stock settings, paired it with my favorite greenback IR, link in the video description if you want that one, and a little bit of the good old gold plate reverb. Now, this is a 1979 Gibson ES335. Let's hear it on the bridge humbucker. As it is, it's already pretty good. Sweet. I kind of like the way that sounds. I might turn the bass down a little bit and I might turn the treble up along with the presence on there. But basically, just like a stock Plexi on here, your gain control would be called volume 1 on the real amp. So as it gets louder, it gets more distorted. There are no two ways about it. So you want it to be less loud and a little bit cleaner, you turn it down, it also gets brighter. Somewhere about there is pretty good for what I like. Again, that's the beauty of the real amp. It's simple, it's brutal, and it is absolutely classic. However, my modified amp kind of gives you 3 different places you can change up the gain. And the first thing that we're going to replicate is the master volume control. And this one's actually really easy. We can just go to the ideal tab over here, and we're going to use the master volume over here, because by default, if we go to the, I think it's the preamp tab over here. No, it's going to be the power amp tab over here. We can set the master volume location. The stock master volume here is a pre-phase inverter master volume. My real amp has a pre-phase inverter master volume, so I'm pretty happy with that. We could play around with pre-triode or post-phase inverter there. I have done some videos talking about kind of virtual Marshall mods in there where we use the post-phase inverter master, but for now, let's just leave it there. So as I turn this master volume down, I'm going to get less volume, obviously, but I'm going to be hitting the phase inverter with a lower signal. So it's going to distort less. This being on 10 is part of the characteristic distortion sound of an old non-master volume Marshall. So I'll bring this down and I can compensate by turning the level up. From there, because I'm losing a bit of this like power amp distortion, I could add a preamp boost in there like the real amp. So for now, let's hear it just wide open. I'm going to take the master down to 5, which is around where I like it on the real amp. And then we're going to add a boost. Cool. It is a bit tighter and a little less chaotic in there. My real amp exhibits pretty much the same behavior in there. When you've got the master volume all the way up, you've got that old school cranked Plexi tone. As you take the master down, you add the Jose style gain stage on there, which we are replicating with the boost, and then you kind of balance out the master volume, which again, it's not only changing the volume, it's changing how hard we're hitting the phase inverter and that characteristic crunch. We've got this really cool and straightforward way to get some slightly different tones out of a classic circuit over here. Now, I actually like having the boost up quite high here. You can see I set it to 20 dB. You could try 10 dB, you could try 15 dB, you could try 5 dB, you could try a different boost type as well. I really like the CC boost on here as well for something a bit more aggressive. Sounds in there, and again balancing out this ideal tab master volume, which we can think of as like a modified version of the real world amp, except you don't have to take it to your tech and spend money on it. And then the addition again of the extra gain stage we've enabled with the boost. You can try different boost types. You can listen out for where the amp really hits its sweet spot on the master volume dial on there. And basically, do you want a bit more preamp distortion? Do you want a bit more of that phase inverter or power amp distortion happening in there? It's such a straightforward way to really customize an already great sound in there, like that 1959 Super Lead Plexi treble. At stock settings, I think sounds amazing on there. You don't have to try it too hard, but if you do want to dive below the surface, this is one of the amazing things you can do with the Axe effects. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you have any suggestions or questions about future Tuesday Tone Tips, I would love to hear from all of you. The cabinet IR and my blocks are linked in the video description, and I will see you all on the next video. Cheers.